Okay, so to begin with, I'll address what this is about. It's the 4th of July shooting at Highland Park. I'm not going to say the whole spiel of my heart goes out or anything like that. I wasn't there. I don't know what it was like. I don't think I'm going to know what it was like. I can't act like I know what it's like to experience any of that. There's a certain level of empathy you can feel for people, but I've never been shot at, so I really don't know how I would feel. Imagine those people felt terror as they ran for their lives. And any life lost is horrible. There's no point in going on some political spiel about they're just going to want to ban guns after this or anything like that. The important thing is understanding that these things are going to happen. They're going to continue to happen as the United States degrades culturally further and further. This is an insane person, I think, pretty obviously. It takes a certain level of insanity to go out and do this kind of thing. Planned. And I don't think any amount of gun control would have stopped this man. Maybe we could have mitigated it. Maybe doing something, maybe controlling who gets guns more, could have mitigated it. I suppose that's a possibility. There are other countries that don't experience things like this. However, I believe that, well, crazy people are going to do crazy things. They are going to continue to do things like this. They are going to continue to cause mass tragedies as such. The question needs to be about what we can actually do. Let's look at this quickly. So, authorities have said that this was a pre-planned attack for several weeks, and obviously information is scarce to a degree. When they say things like legally purchased high-powered rifle, I cringe a little. Because this is, they obviously know what the weapon is, but refuse to answer exactly what it is. I hate hearing things like high-powered rifle. It often seems to be, if I'm being entirely honest, politically charged. Just like when people say semi-automatic, it means you can just fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, and it's a high-powered rifle and used in war and stuff like that. And when you hear people who say, I haven't heard anything like this since I was in Iraq, which was a quote from a politician about this. I think a lot of this is politically charged rhetoric. I want to know what kind of rifle it is. Plain and simple. I don't need high-powered rifle. I highly doubt it was a high-powered rifle. It was most likely a rifle, but high-powered, it was probably a standard caliber. 5.56, 308, whatever. Let's see. 70 rounds fired, 6 killed, dozens wounded. Dressed as a woman to help himself escape, took up on a roof to commit the violence to begin with. Borrowed his mother's vehicle and was eventually caught. And they found multiple other weapons. Now, first, he was caught surprisingly quickly. I don't know if this insinuates that the police had some knowledge on the situation, or if they were just efficient at their job. Generally, I tend to doubt police efficiency, but in tragedy, they tend to work harder. Looking at what's happening here, I think it's a sign of all across America a greater problem is occurring. Something more than just access to weapons. Firstly, I highly doubt that people like this are going to be stopped by something like gun control. If that was the solution, then no one would face mass tragedy like this. Partly, any large gathering of people is a risk for something like this. It doesn't matter what method they use. And a prime example of something like this is the Boston Marathon bombing. These were political extremists, of course. These people, let's see, this was in 2013. I think everybody probably remembers. Let's see. They killed 3 people, injured hundreds, and 17 people lost limbs. This is extreme. Obviously, it's a bomb. Now, another aspect of political extremism, the Oklahoma City bombing in '95. Yet another terrorist attack, politically motivated. Let's see, perpetrated by 2 anti-government extremists with white supremacist right-wing terrorist sympathies. Yeah, let's look at this. Killed at least 168 people, injured more than 680. Destroyed more than a third of the building. These are insane people. And they will continue to do insane things. Now, looking at all of this, this isn't to say that something can't be done, but I don't think that the answer is through law. I think we're looking at a greater cultural issue. And I don't know what the answer is. Even if gun control is the answer, which I doubt it is, look at this. We don't know much about the guy yet. It's too soon, too early to really know. But if he was motivated by some kind of politics, it's obvious, I think, to everyone that politics have been getting more extreme. The things that people believe, more extreme. QAnon, Blue Anon. Yeah? There are radicals of each kind. I don't know what we can do to shift away from the extremism that we're experiencing, but I'm not even entirely sure that this extremism can be entirely chalked up to politics. I mean, I've seen the George Floyd riots are an obvious example of a political message that was motivating people to do not great things, pushing people who had no interest in the politics of it whatsoever to commit action. I mean, all of the looting and things like that. This is not a comparison of the extreme nature of these two situations, but just to say that how much is this politics and how much is it just an insane person doing something insane, taking advantage of the opportunity, using the politics as an excuse to have committed the action that they have. Things like this shouldn't happen. But they're going to continue to happen, no matter what we do. The question is what factors that we can use to mitigate future instances of things like this. Is it a situation where law is going to be the answer? If I'm being entirely honest, I don't think so. I don't think law is the answer, and I don't think the American people have what it takes to solve the problem. Because we've quickly become a country that believes that the answer to all of our problems is to just have the government solve it. The problem is that some issues cannot be solved by the government. Not just some, most, I would say. There are so many issues that need to be solved culturally. There are so many issues that as a community, as a people, we have to discuss and come up with solutions for. We live in such a luxurious and opulent country. And yet we feel as though we must ignore every aspect of this country in order to pursue our lives. Things like making money for our families. You would think, as well as we do, we'd have time. But we apparently don't. There is definitely cultural decay happening in this country. And the shootings that have happened in recent time are an example of that. I don't know what caused this man to do this. I don't know what's caused most of these people to commit these actions. To a certain degree, we understand that these people want their name to be remembered, and they don't care if it's remembered in infamy. But realistically, who really remembers them? I highly doubt that we will. And I think it's in the best interest of the people whose families were injured to not remember him either. I'm not asking for him to be forgiven. I don't think he should be. He should obviously rot in jail. But to even give him a moment of your thought is to give him something that he wanted. The reason why he did this thing in the first place. At least one of them. He's not deserving of that. I suggest these people focus on their families, mourning, and hopefully pushing past this. Continuing to live their lives while remembering the people who were lost, but forgetting the man who did it. It's for their own good. More than that, though. A discussion needs to be had about the cultural problems that are quickly appearing in this country. Something must be done. But not by the government. By the people. I just don't know if we can do it. Or even what that thing is. After all, I'm not all-knowing. But the minds of all of the people in this country combined, maybe we can figure it out. And maybe the answer's already right in front of us. Maybe I do know what the problem is. And it's just not come to mind yet. Either way, we have a serious problem in front of us. And something has to be done. By all of us. And not just the select few in Washington. Thank you for watching.